My name is Charlie Ruth. I am the director of the Women with Rights Foundation in Colombia, Mexico, and Brazil. We bring together the most important female leaders from the economy, politics, innovation, science, media, and we bring them together through our events of Latinas Poderosas, Latinas Innovadoras, and we reinvest in the menstrual equity programs that we deliver in Colombian and Mexican prisons. Menstruation is important because it's the most normal condition that an average woman has to live for almost 40 years. What is not normal is the blame and the shame that we have to tackle through our lives with this normal phenomenon. And also, it's not normal not jumping into smarter options. Right now, we have innovations that make menstruation easier, cheaper, and much better for our bodies and also for the environment. And menstrual cup can change the situation of every woman, and especially the girls and the women coming from low incomes and coming from spaces like prisons, shelters, orphanages, where access to menstrual pads and tampons is still hard because one menstrual cup can lend you for 15 years. It's very easy to use, it's very easy to sanitize, and also helps you to save a lot of money and a lot of plastic waste. This is a menstrual cup. It's made here in the United States with silicone of medical grade. It's very easy to use. You only have to insert inside your body, and once it's there, you can use it for 12 hours and forgetting all the menstrual problems from the past. Why this is wonderful for the life of a girl or a woman? Because it's safe, it's very cheap, and also helps you to change the way how you perceive your own body and your own health. At the same time, you are going to save a lot of money, and you are going to help planet Earth to save tons of plastic waste that is ending right now in the water sources, and it's contaminating and polluting our world. I arrived to this concept working with women in prisons in Colombia and Mexico. Basically, in October 2017, I delivered some speeches in Colombia for women in prisons, and working with them and helping them to create their own small and medium businesses inside the prison. They told me how is life without access to pads or tampons, and for me that was like realizing how privileged I was, but also realizing that still there are millions of women that for different conditions they cannot buy menstrual pads or tampons, and I wanted to change this. And in this year I had a problem in my own reproductive health, and I was like thinking, if this is happening to me, that I have access to medical insurance, to information, and I always have had access to products, what can happen in the life of a woman in my age that never has had these opportunities and access to menstrual products? And I realized that I wanted to change this, and I wanted to change because we have to move forward to better ways how to help our bodies and help the planet at the same way. Well, I am a Rotarian from the District 4281 in Colombia. Rotary is an international organization that brings together leaders from different ages, backgrounds, and conditions, and we all share the same mission to serve to others through our friendship and to create projects with high social impact in our communities. And wherever I go in different countries and different series, I try to connect with the local Rotarians. First, because I feel them like my international family, extended family, and also because I feel me connected with people that cares about the improvement of communities and also the improvement of human connections. That is what a Rotarian does. In November of this year, we are going to launch Powerful. It's the brand of these powerful menstrual cups, and we are going to deliver the first 10,000 in Colombia and Mexico, starting with women in prisons, but also with immigrant women in Colombia that come from Venezuela due to the critical situation, and also with young girls in rural areas. The issue is not giving them the menstrual cup. The challenge is educating them about their health, about the importance of menstruation, and about the importance of knowing better their bodies, taking care of their bodies, and also looking for always better ways to understand their bodies, their lives, and better ways to help the planet Earth.
Uh, Charlie is a lawyer from Colombia. Charlie has been a speaker for the UN General Assembly on gender and equality issues. Charlie is a TED Talk speaker. With all of the accomplishments, that I'm leaving things out, one of the best things about Charlie is that she's a lot of fun. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Ruth Castro.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Yes, I lead my own organization. It's the Women with Rights Foundation, Mujeres con Derechos, and we work in 3 countries, Colombia, Mexico, and Brazil. I'm going to explain more what I do there. I also have the honor to belong to Our Bodies Ourselves board of directors. Probably some of you have heard about Our Bodies Ourselves. It's an organization that 50 years ago created this book that is a reference in women's health around the world, has been translated to more than 30 languages, and has been sold in with more than 5 million of copies around the world. So for me, it's an honor to belong and being the first Latina in the board of directors. And also, I have the privilege to belong to the Berkman Klein Center. It's the research center dedicated to internet and society. And I am a lawyer, and since 2012, I have been working in internet regulation topics in Latin America. So this is why I'm staying here. I am writing a book about innovation, and I am also trying to bring Mujeres con Derechos to the next level, connecting with United Nations and international donors, big foundations in the United States, and big philanthropies that can help us to cover more and make a bigger impact in the lives of girls and women in Latin America. So, sorry, with John, we couldn't discover how to make this easier, but I created Mujeres con Derechos here in Massachusetts. And actually this started like a hobby, like a part-time project that I was doing aside my job at the Berkman Klein Center, because I discovered that I really care about the women's and the girls' rights. And especially, I grew up in a region where gender violence is a serious issue. Feminicides are an issue. Incest is a big issue. And I was very lucky and very fortunate to grow up in this family that protect me and encourage me and deliver the best love. But when I was here, when I arrived to Harvard, and I look back and I say, wow, all these things that I have achieved until this point of my life, I got them thanks to education, thanks to my family support, but also I am special in the way that I didn't suffer the same violences, type of violence that other girls and women with my same age have suffered. And this made me feel that I had a responsibility of creating new paths for promoting education, innovation, and the human rights dialogue that we needed, not only in my region but in my entire country. So in 2016, I decided to quit to my perfect job here at Harvard, and I moved back to Colombia, and I created Mujeres con Derechos. Right now, we bring together the most important leaders in the economic, political, innovation, science, media stages in my country and in Mexico and Brazil. And we create together events where we talk about these important topics around feminism and around women's leadership. And with the resources, we have reinvest in the education of women in prisons and also with girls in orphanages. So in the last 3 years, nothing could be achieved without my wonderful team. And it's my honor to always present this picture, and I'm very proud to show you the people that motivate me every day, help me to understand a better way about equality, inclusion, diversity, and friendship. And they are my team. Okay. I am very proud to say that we are a very diverse team with people from 18 years old until 78 years old, with different backgrounds, with different perspectives, with men. That it's quite special when you work in an organization driven to deliver services to women. So it's fantastic to have this team. And thanks to my team, we have been able to create the Fundación Mujeres con Derechos, that is the brand framing two other brands, that is Latinas Poderosas and Mujeres Poderosas TV. With Latinas Poderosas, we have achieved 7 big summits in 3 different countries until this point. These summits are always shared thanks to the media, local media that always are there for mainstreaming what we are doing. And also last year we started the TV show Mujeres Poderosas, or Powerful Women, especially for visualizing what local leaders are creating for changing the world. Because I know you know who is Kim Kardashian. But I swear that probably you don't know enough about that big entrepreneur that delivers, 1,000 jobs in Haverhill Hill, and she's a woman, and she's a scientist, and she's a mom, and she is a great leader. And have you asked yourself, like, why we don't know enough about these fantastic women? Well, I have the same feeling, and this is why we started the Mujeres Poderosas TV last year, to visualize them. And yeah, this is the picture that proves that powerful women are out there, and powerful women believe that men and women and people from different backgrounds and from different ages must be included in the universal conversation about equality. Men, lovely gentlemen in the room, you are half of the problem and you are half of the solution. And we need you. Every time that we gather, we say the same. We have to work with men, we have to work with boys, we have to work with women that have better and worse conditions. Because if we are not able to include ourselves in the same picture and in the same goal of looking for wellness, education, health, security for everyone, we are going to keep in the same way that we are right now. And things are hard. We are Rotarians, we are enough privileged to be here, to gather, to have food in our table, but we know that we still live in a planet that is struggling with people that every day struggle, the people that are under conflict, under violence, under hungry, under climate disasters right now. And this is bad, even for us. We all can be better, but the secret sauce is finding a common space and a common conversation together. I still don't have all the answers, but I have discovered, thanks to these leaders, that we can work together. And I don't know here, maybe your culture is different from mine, but in my culture, women fight. Women are always trying to hit the other. Jealousy and professional, personal, familiar, and probably happens the same here. What we are trying to teach other women is that we can work together, we can cooperate together, we all can grow together. That's one of our biggest mantras. And thanks to this, thanks to being able to reach this summit, and thanks to the money of our donors and our supporters, we decided to create a reinvestment program. So in October 2017, 2 years ago exactly, someone knocked the door of my office and she said, "Charlie, I have a challenge for you." And I love challenges, and I was like, give it to me. So she said, "I dare you to deliver a speech in a prison." And I was like, I was thinking like 30 seconds, and I was like, oh my God, this is the time where I'm going to pay my karma. Because when I was studying law, I avoid all the criminal law topics, and I was like, oh no, I don't have the energy for going to prison and talking with people that have committed a crime. So I said, okay, maybe the universe has a plan. I am going to accept that challenge. So I went to the prison, and thanks to the prison, I discovered many problems. But there was one special problem that I was really, really passionate about. And let me show you how is a real prison in Colombia. This is it. And this is from the first moment, first day, with the first group of women that we start working with. And this is not orange is the new black. No fancy Nancy. This is the real conditions that women have to live in a normal prison in Colombia. The situation is very bad. You can find systematic human rights violations every day inside a prison. And a space created for attending 100 people have 200 and a half. There is no water, there is food in bad conditions and food that has expired. They receive punishments and there is no money, so they have created like this black market where they have to exchange everything. And I will say that 3 of 7 days there are fights inside a prison. And if you are in the middle of a fight, the probability that you lose your life is very high. Because there are guns, there are drugs, there are women that have so much resentment, and women that don't have a purpose to live for, that they don't care to kill others. I am really honest with you. So we started to work with these women. I delivered my speech to them, and the most of them were like, oh, wow, I needed to listen this. But a few groups said, shut up. Like this, shut up. Shut up, doctor, don't come anymore. We don't need people like you. And I was like, tell me more, why you don't need people like me? Probably you are right, but please tell me. And one of them said, because people like you come, deliver these beautiful ideas, and then go and never come back. And we feel abandoned. And I say, I don't come here to provide something because I don't know what to provide. But with your help, I would like to know what do you need and how we could improve the life conditions together. I don't have money, but I can teach you to work and to create a project and find that money. So The challenge was accepted by these women, and we started to work together. I delivered with them my methodology, the one that I created when I was working here at Harvard. They started to create their own small and medium businesses inside, and this is why last year Rotary gave me this recognition at the United Nations in the Rotary Day. Last year, President Barry Racing chose 6 young innovators, and I was one of them. And that is something that I am going to share with you. You can see the speech, it's online, and it was a beautiful moment at the United Nations in Nairobi. But beyond this, working together, we discovered this problem, menstrual equity. Why women cannot access to efficient, ecological, safe, and cheap menstrual products. And obviously, when you are in a prison, you are forgotten by your family, by the state, by the community, by the society. You don't have money. You cannot go to the supermarket and buy menstrual pads or tampons. So I discovered that this was a problem from women in prisons, not only in Colombia, around the world, but also this is still a permanent problem for millions of girls and women around the globe. So I was so obsessed. I was reading, I was working with them, I was listening to them, how it's living without tampons and without menstrual pads. Because someone like me grew up with the money for buying this type of topics. At the beginning of my reproductive life, my parents were providing that money. Then I was able to buy by myself. But what happens with women that don't have access? So I started to see that there was a big problem, and behind every big problem there's a big opportunity. And I think how the life of millions of women could change if they will have access to these efficient, ecological, and economic menstrual products. And this is where I started to discover that menstrual pads cover part of the solution, but it's not the most efficient solution. So I got a big donor of menstrual pads in Colombia. We were able to deliver 1 year supply of menstrual pads. But studying more, I was thinking, first, this is going to end because you only use a menstrual pad once and then you trash it. Second, this is not going to solve the problem. And third, the plastic inside every pad is going to finish in the water sources. And this is a real problem. And we can agree or disagree about what is climate change right now, but we know that something is happening with the earth. And yesterday I was launching the Colombian Science Diplomacy Network at Harvard University, and the first topic was Amazon and the climate change. And we all agree with scientists and non-scientist people that the climate change is a human mistake. Human beings have created climate change. And the damage that we see today is part of our co-responsibility. And women are also part of that. If we spend in 10 years more than 200 kilograms on plastic coming only from menstrual pads, we are contaminating the water sources. And this plastic degrades in more than 500 years. Imagine, this is going to perdure more than our lives. It's not fair. We need something smarter. So at the beginning of this year, I had a terrible urgency problem. I didn't know, but I had a tumor in my womb. And this happened in March, actually. I just arrived from Mexico City to Bogota. I was resting a couple of days in my house, and then I started to feel a horrible pain. I didn't know what to do. My entire next week was a schedule full of meetings, full of speeches, And I was like, nothing is happening, I'm not going to the hospital. Well, at the end, I had to go to the hospital, and I had to see with my eyes what is a problem when you don't face it. And obviously they had to open and make the surgery, and thanks to God I'm here. And I said to myself, maybe this is a call from the universe, from the divinity, that I have to work in this. Because if this has happened to me, to a woman with resources, to access to information, to medical access that is very hard in my country, and in countries like this too, what could happen to a different woman without resources? So I was thinking, okay, I'm going to change this. And I came here to the United States, and I was researching and seeing and discovering that this is very expensive for the most of the women in the world. Maybe here you don't feel it, but for example, in Mexico and Colombia, the supply of 1 year of menstrual pads, and I'm talking about the cheapest, the worst quality, cost more than $100. And for you, it's like, okay, $100 are 4 Rotarian lunches, right? Well, my friends, for people that earn less than $150 per month, this is too much. And if you are a girl, 14 years old girl, in a family with 3 other brothers, you are the less priority in that family. So this is still a big obstacle to access the money, the price, the cost of these products. And let's not talk about Tampax, because Tampax are still the less common solution in our countries. Here are kind of common, in Latin America, the less common. So let me ask you, what do you buy with, let's say, $1,100 in 10 years, in your first 10 years of menstruation? Well, you can buy economic independence. $1,100 is the price of a motorcycle. And a motorcycle can be your first business. And with your first business, you can save money for going to the technical school and finding a better job, or for starting your own medium or a small business. And this can change the life of a woman. If a woman in her early years can find a job or can have money in her pocket, she can have a better life, a different life. She doesn't need to be pregnant of the worst man in the neighborhood. She doesn't need to stay unemployed, and she can change her community. And we have seen this with the women that we work with. Economic independence is key. I always say this, your power starts in your pocket. If you have money in your pocket, you can choose what do you want. But if you don't have money in your pocket, you are going to follow this circle of poverty forever and ever, and you are going to condemn your children and grandchildren in this cycle. So my solution, I created here with a big American company that provides silicone products, and it's a menstrual cup. And it's not new. Actually, the first patent of the menstrual cup is from 1947 and was created here in the United States, the country of innovators. And you will ask me why this is not enough known like pads and like Tampax. Well, because like the Tampax and pads is a multi-billionaire business, and it's good for them. But the problem is that it's only one-time product, so you have to buy and buy. And the problem is that a woman, an average woman, is going to menstruate for 40 years in her life. So imagine that only with one cup that lengths up to 15 years, a woman can reuse it, can feel free, dumb, for more than 12 hours, because once it's inside, it stays there, nothing leaks, it's very safe, doesn't hurt, and collects all the menstrual fluid that she has. And let me tell you something. Human beings are one of the 4 species that have menstruation. Bats, monkeys, certain species of rats, and human beings have menstruation. But from these 4 species, women, human beings, women, have the longest periods and the most often periods. And this is serious. And let me tell you something more, and especially men that maybe didn't know this. Thanks to menstruation, we are all alive here. It's due to the menstruation of your mothers that they were enough prepared for bringing life, for preparing your body for 9 months, and for being able to bring you to this moment. So menstruation is important, and we have to break the chain and the blame on menstruation, showing to women and showing to girls that there are smarter, safer, cheaper, and better ways to deal with menstruation. This is my solution, and this is why I'm here, and this is why I was invited last week into the Sustainable Development Goals Business Forum at the United Nations. Companies in this country and other countries are interested in finding smarter ways how we can tackle the Sustainable Development Goals. Women are a big part of this equation. We need to find common conversations and common solutions that can drive a big social impact, but we cannot do it alone. I really have to say thanks to Megan, to Jack, to you for have listened to my talk. And if you're interested in knowing more and knowing how to support this and knowing how to change the life of young girls in Colombia, let me know. Because in November we are going to deliver the first 10,000 menstrual cups. Imagine that 10,000 menstrual cups can make a difference of $1.5 million in the life of these women. And I'm talking that this is a safe business, this is a green business, and this is a great business for everyone involved. So if you want to listen more, just let me know. Thank you, Megan.